Let's be real. Who hasn't stared at a $100 bill, feeling its crisp edges and thinking, what if this could be the start of something bigger? That little rectangle of paper so full of potential can spark 1,000 daydreams. I remember holding it, the weight of possibility in my hand, and wondering if I could somehow flip it into something more. Maybe not a mansion or a sports car, but at least enough to make life a little easier, or to cover a few extra lunches without checking my bank balance twice. We've all had that moment, right? Staring at cash and letting our minds wander, imagining what it would be like to turn a single bill into a fortune. Maybe you picture yourself on a beach, or just paying off your credit card. For me, it was about seeing if I could take that $100 and make it grow, like a challenge against myself and the world. 6 months ago, I decided to stop just dreaming and actually do something about it. I was determined to turn that single bill into $1,000. It wasn't about luck or waiting for the perfect opportunity to fall into my lap. It was about taking action, no matter how small, and seeing where it could lead. I made a promise to myself. No stocks, no crypto, no lottery tickets, just something real. Something anyone could do with a little hustle and a lot of determination. I wanted to keep it grounded, practical, and accessible. No fancy jargon, no secret insider tips, just honest work and smart choices. So I set my rules. Start with $100, reinvest every profit, and keep it simple. No shortcuts, no borrowing, no dipping into savings. Every dollar had to work for me, and every decision had to be intentional. I wrote down my goals, made a list of what I could and couldn't do, and promised myself I'd stick to the plan, no matter how tempting it was to take the easy way out. My mission was to prove that you don't need special skills, fancy degrees, or powerful connections to multiply your money. I wanted to show that with a little creativity and a lot of persistence, anyone could do it. I wasn't some financial genius, I was just an ordinary person with a stubborn streak and a willingness to try. This wasn't about chasing some get-rich-quick scheme or hoping for a miracle. It was about the grind, the late nights, the early mornings, the endless to-do lists. It was about putting in the work, learning from mistakes, and refusing to give up even when things got tough. My girlfriend thought I was a little bit crazy. She'd watch me scribbling ideas in my notebook or researching side hustles at midnight and just shake her head, laughing. But I was determined. I wanted to prove to her and to myself that it was possible. I brainstormed every idea I could think of, from reselling thrift store clothes to walking dogs to flipping furniture I found on the curb. I even considered offering to mow lawns or run errands for neighbors. No idea was too small or too weird. I just needed something that could work. But I knew I needed more than just a good idea. I needed something with a solid profit margin, something I could repeat over and over, and something that wouldn't burn me out after a week. I spent hours calculating costs, researching what people actually wanted, and figuring out how to make the most of every dollar. The real goal wasn't just to make a quick buck. It was to build a system, something I could scale, improve, and maybe even teach others to do. I wanted to create a blueprint for turning a little into a lot, step by step, mistake by mistake. The pressure was on. It wasn't just about making money anymore. It was about proving to myself that I could stick with something, see it through, and maybe inspire someone else to try. Every setback felt personal, and every small win felt huge. I decided to document everything. The wins, the losses, the moments I wanted to quit, and the little victories that kept me going. I kept a journal, tracked every dollar, and made notes about what worked and what didn't. And, of course, I had to resist the temptation to blow it all on iced coffee or takeout. Every time I wanted to splurge, I reminded myself of the bigger goal. It wasn't easy, but it made every decision feel important. So, could I really turn 100 into $1,000? I honestly didn't know. But I was ready to try, ready to hustle, and ready to see just how far determination and a single $100 bill could take me. Let the challenge begin. My breakthrough? Flipping used furniture. Specifically small pieces like side tables and chairs. These are easy to transport, cheap to buy, and a little cleaning plus good photos can double their value. I scoured Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and garage sales for underpriced or free finds. The trick was spotting solid pieces that just needed a little love. No major repairs, just cleaning, staging, and smart marketing. I called it the Cinderella strategy. Turn dusty rejects into desirable gems. Inventory was everywhere, and my $100 had to cover everything: furniture, supplies, and gas. The shoestring budget forced me to be picky and creative. I was ready to launch my furniture flipping empire. Time to see if this hustle could really work. My first score? 2 grimy nightstands for 20 bucks. I spent $5 on cleaner, scrubbed them up, and took killer photos. Listed for 90, sold for 80 after a little haggling. My first flip netted me $55 in profit. I reinvested in a coffee table and bookshelf, keeping the momentum going. By the end of month 1, my $100 had grown to $210. It wasn't life-changing, but it proved the system worked. Every flip taught me something new: how to spot value, how to present it, and how to negotiate. The thrill of turning junk into cash was addictive. I was hooked, and my confidence was growing. The journey was just beginning. Could I keep scaling up? Only one way to find out. With $210, I could chase bigger deals. I learned fast. The listed price is just a starting point. Everyone expects to haggle. My new rule: always offer 20% less. Sometimes I scored, sometimes I didn't, but it boosted my profits. My best flip: a mid-century dresser bought for 50, sold for 200. That one deal nearly doubled my bankroll. I developed a routine: search, pick up, clean, photograph, list, repeat. I got better at spotting quality and walking away from duds. By month 2, my $100 had grown to $435. I was almost halfway to my goal. The system was working and my hustle was getting sharper. Each flip felt less risky and more strategic. The momentum was real. Month 3 kicked off with a surge of confidence. I'd been riding high on a string of successful flips, and it felt like nothing could go wrong. My bank balance was growing, my skills were sharper, and I was starting to believe I had this whole flipping game figured out. But sometimes confidence can turn into overconfidence, and that's exactly what happened to me. I spotted a massive, beautiful oak dining set listed for just $100. The wood was solid, the craftsmanship was obvious, and I was convinced I'd found my next big win. In my mind, I was already counting the profits, imagining at least tripling my investment. Without much hesitation, I handed over the cash and hauled it home, feeling like a pro. But reality hit hard the moment I tried to fit that enormous table into my tiny apartment. It barely squeezed through the door, and once inside, it dominated the entire living room. Cleaning it was a nightmare. The nooks and crannies seemed endless. Worse yet, I couldn't get a decent photo for my online listing. Every angle made my place look even smaller, and the table looked awkward and out of place. Days turned into weeks, and my inbox stayed empty. No messages, no offers, not even a lowball. The excitement I'd felt at first quickly faded into frustration and doubt. I started to wonder if I'd made a huge mistake. Eventually, I swallowed my pride. I retook the photos, this time dragging the table outside for better lighting. I slashed the price, just hoping to get it out of my apartment. After all that effort, I barely scraped together a $40 profit. It was a win, technically, but it felt like a close call, a near disaster that could have wiped out weeks of progress. That experience taught me a crucial lesson. Stick to manageable items. Big, bulky pieces might seem like a good deal, but they come with big headaches. From then on, I made a promise to myself to focus on what I could easily move, clean, and sell. I shifted my attention back to nightstands, coffee tables, and other small furniture. These items were easy to transport, quick to clean up, and always in demand. The flips were faster, and the profits added up much more quickly than I'd realized before. With each successful flip, my confidence returned, but this time, it was grounded in experience. The smaller, faster flips were where the real money was hiding, and I was finally starting to see consistent results. By the end of month 3, I'd hit $580. That was more than halfway to my goal, and it felt like a huge achievement. I celebrated the milestone, but I also knew I couldn't get complacent again. My strategy was evolving, and I was more determined than ever to keep learning and improving. Every mistake became a stepping stone, not a setback. I started to see each challenge as an opportunity to get better. Looking back, I realized that every misstep was just part of the journey. Each one taught me something valuable, and none of them were true losses as long as I learned from them. The grind didn't stop. I kept hustling, listing new items, and refining my approach. Late nights became routine, but I was working smarter, not just harder. With renewed focus and a stronger strategy, I was ready for whatever came next. The journey wasn't over, but I was moving forward. One flip, one lesson, and one milestone at a time. Month 4 was all about refining my process. I doubled down on mid-century, modern, and minimalist pieces, hot sellers with great margins. I set up keyword alerts and saved searches to snag deals fast. My listings got a makeover, clear templates, staged photos, and detailed descriptions. Staging with plants or books made items more appealing. I spent less time searching and more time flipping. My best flip 2 teak side tables bought for 40, sold for 180 in a day. By month's end, my bankroll hit 760. Focusing on a niche made me an expert and boosted my profits. The $1,000 goal was in sight. With 760 in the bank, I hit cruise control. I started upselling, offering buyers a second item when they came to pick up the first. About 1 in 4 took the bait, adding easy profit. I also got bolder, investing more in sure winners. My best score, a lane acclaim end table, bought for 80, sold for 250 to a collector. The system was now a well-oiled machine. Each flip felt like a calculated investment, not a gamble. The stress faded, replaced by confidence. By month's end, I was at $950, just $50 short of my goal, with a month to spare. The finish line was right there. Time for the final push. The last month, just $50 to go. I found a free wobbly nightstand on Craigslist, fixed it up, and listed it for 60. A college student offered 50 and I took it. That sale pushed me to exactly $1,000. 6 months, 10 times my money, all from flipping furniture. The real reward? The skills, confidence, and proof that small hustles add up. It wasn't just about the cash. It was about building something from nothing. I'd started with a single bill and ended with $1,000. No stocks, no crypto, just hustle and creativity. The journey was worth every minute. If I could do it, anyone can. The experiment was a success. Ever wondered if you could turn a small amount of cash into $1,000 just by flipping items? It's not just a dream, it's a real, achievable side hustle that anyone can try. If you're ready to give it a shot, here's a step-by-step guide to get you started on your flipping journey. First, set aside a small amount of money that you're comfortable risking. Think 50 or $100. This is your seed money, and it's important to only use what you can afford to lose. Treat it as an investment in your learning, not just a quick way to make cash. Next, pick a niche that genuinely interests you. Whether it's vintage video games, sneakers, books, or kitchen gadgets, your passion will help you spot deals and stay motivated. Take some time to really understand the market. What's in demand, what's trending, and what people are willing to pay for certain items. Spend at least a week just observing. Watch online marketplaces. Track what sells quickly, and note the prices. This research phase is crucial. It helps you avoid rookie mistakes and teaches you the difference between a good deal and a dud. Look for the sweet spot, the gap between what sellers are asking and what buyers are actually paying for well-presented quality items. This is where your profit lives. Sometimes a little cleaning, better photos, or a more detailed description can make all the difference. When you're ready, start small. Focus on one type of item and aim to become the go-to person for that niche. Specializing helps you build expertise, spot deals faster, and build a reputation among buyers. Keep track of every expense and sale in a simple spreadsheet or app. Record your purchase price, selling price, shipping costs, and any fees. This will help you see exactly how much you're making and where you can improve. Not every flip will be a winner. If you lose money or make a mistake, don't get discouraged. Every setback is a lesson, an opportunity to adjust your strategy and get better with each attempt. The most important thing is to take action. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect item. Just start. Listing your first item is a huge step forward. You'll learn more from actually flipping your first item than you ever will from endless research or watching others. The real-world experience is invaluable. Celebrate every win, no matter how small. Even a $10 profit means you're moving in the right direction. The key is to repeat the process, learn, and scale up over time. Remember, the journey to $1,000 isn't about one big score. It's about a series of small, consistent steps. Each flip building on the last, your skills and confidence growing with every sale. It takes patience and persistence, but the rewards, both financial and personal, are absolutely worth it. Watching your savings grow and knowing you built it yourself is incredibly satisfying. So, what are you waiting for? Go out there, find your first flip, and start your journey to $1,000 today. The only thing stopping you is taking that first step.